So you may remember I've done a project using botanical dyes in the past, basically making natural dyes out of food waste and forage plants. Today I'm doing something similar but different using a new technique. What I'm doing today is called bundle dyeing or confetti dyeing. I actually think it's just called bundle dyeing, but I think confetti dyeing sounds very cute and I'm trying to make it a thing. So if you could work with me on that trademark. Like last time, I've pre-treated the fabric I'm using for this in a mixture of soy milk and water, according to the instructions in Botanical Dyeing at Your Fingertips by Rebecca Desnos. It's basically a litre of soy milk to 5 litres of water for about 400 grams of fabric. I only have like 300 grams here, so I'm using a bit less water, but the same amount of soy milk because this is very cheap supermarket stuff. It's like 5% soybean solids, so soybean solids. It's fun. It gets soaked for 12-ish hours, more if you forget about it, and then spun in the washing machine and left to drip dry. And then I dunked it again and dry it again, and then I dunk it a third time and dry it a third time, and then it has to sit for like a week to absorb or something. It's so much work before you've even done any work. The point of this is to build up proteins that help the dye last. Natural dyes aren't as stable as artificial dyes, and I would be fuming if I did a load of work and then it fades in like 10 minutes, which is quite probable. So this is just to try and give it like the best possible start, like a fancy preschool of mordanting fabric. I'm using a mixture of fresh and dry flowers. I say fresh, these are very much dyeing. And because I don't know what the difference will be in terms of the colour that comes out of them, the potency, how long they last, I've also got 2 smaller fabric scraps that I'm using to experiment with. So one will be dried only, one will be fresh only, and the big lad will be both, so I can compare my results. I just have to remember which one is which is the really challenging part. This is my little spray bottle of apple cider vinegar. It does not work. I'm dampening down the cloth with a mixture of vinegar and water before I spread my flowers all over it, and then everything gets sprayed again afterwards. Personally, I like all my fabric to smell of vinegar at all times, and that is why people find me so irresistible. Once I'm happy with this, it gets rolled up, it gets made into a cute little bundle, hence the name, and then I'm going to steam it for a couple of hours, just over a hot pan, turn it a couple of times, and then leave it basically until tomorrow, just to let all that dye really settle in. And then it's anybody's guess what we end up with. Okay, it's the next day. I have unwrapped these little presents, scraped off the flower debris and let them dry out, and it's time to take a look at the results. So first of all, these are the 2 test pieces I did to see the difference between fresh and dried flowers. I honestly thought that fresh was going to be way stronger, and now I've been made a fool because this one is the dried and this one is the fresh. There's way more pigment in the dried flowers, which I did not expect. I didn't get much pigment at all from the pink roses. When you're scraping them off, you can kind of see how much colour's underneath, and there was... Brianna! Bioma, I'll skin you and eat you. Leave the carpet alone. Sorry you had to see that. And then here is the big guy. This is quite a heavy linen, whereas my test pieces were just basically quilting cotton that I had floating around. So I don't know if it's the type of fabric or the weight of it that's made the difference, but this is definitely more confetti style rather than the kind of tie-dye effect of this. My neighbours have decided to mow their lawn while I'm filming this. Great. You can kind of actually see the yellow confetti from the dried marigolds. Dried is so much better. Lavender's giving me absolutely nothing, which I respect. So my next step for this, I want to see how well the colour lasts. I'm expecting it to fade a little bit in this first week, but hopefully not too terribly. And then I'm thinking maybe cushions. If you have any better ideas, please share them, because this is as far as I've thought. There's absolutely, beyond this, absolutely zero forethought has gone in, so head empty. Oh, now he's mowing again. Everyone ignore the mowing sounds. You should learn to mow. You'd be so cute. But that would be helpful, wouldn't it, Rioma? So you couldn't do that.